So here's a question I get asked quite a bit, which is when we sharpen our photos, we're often told to sharpen different amounts based on where that photo is going to go. If that photo is going to go to print, we probably want to sharpen it a little bit more. If the photo is not going to go to print, maybe just be displayed on the web, we might want to sharpen a little bit less. So the problem with that is how do we manage all this different sharpening here? Well, I've got a good little trick for you here inside of Photoshop. And mind you, this trick will still work if you're working with Lightroom, okay? Because when you would jump over from Lightroom, we would be at exactly the same place when we open our image in Photoshop, which is an image with only one layer, the background layer here, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to press Command J on the Mac or Control J on the PC to duplicate our background layer. And then we're going to go up to the filter menu. We're going to convert this to a smart filter. And you're going to see why in just a second. So just click OK. The only way you'll know it's a smart filter is if you kind of just look over there. You'll see it's got a little plus or a little badge next to it. All right, so we'll just zoom back out there. So that is our smart filter layer, meaning we can apply filters to this in a different way. So I'm going to go to Filter, Sharpen. I'm going to go to Unsharp Mask. All right, and let's zoom in on the photo here. Let's zoom into 100%. Now this is probably going a little bit overboard, so we don't want to sharpen it quite that much. But I am going to over sharpen it a bit because if it were for print, you would want to over sharpen it. It should look too sharp on your screen than it would in your final print because it actually smoothed out inside the printing or in the printing process. So let's say we sharpen it by, let's say we go down here to 120% at 1.3, threshold at 0. All right, I'm going to click OK. Take a look at what happens over here inside the layers palette. It shows me that it's applied this smart filter and it's unsharp mask, which means that because it's a smart filter, if I ever need to change it, I can do it very easily just by double clicking on it, opening up the unsharp mask dialog box, and now I can change it to something less if this were maybe going to be for the web. But here's a cool little trick, is I don't even have to always come in here and change it. Now I could just save this document as a PSD. This layer will save with it and everything will be fine. And if I opened it back up and decided I want to change this to web sharpening, just double click on the words unsharp mask and I could change it. Click OK. Save it again, I'd be good. But another thing you can do is you can come up here to the filter menu, go to Sharpen, go to Unsharp Mask, and knock this down to something less. Click OK. And then you'll see here, we can turn these little eyeballs, the little visibility icons on and off. So maybe this is our print sharpening, and this is our web sharpening. All right, so we got the bottom one is print, and the top one is web. And then if you needed to keep track of it, what you could do is you could just rename the layer and you could call it sharpening. And you could say top, web, bottom, print. And that would be a good, easy, quick way for you to visually look at this and say, okay, this is my sharpening layer, and the top version of Unsharp Mask is for the web, the bottom version is for the print, and you just turn that eyeball icon for whichever one on and off, and it's that easy. So whether you're coming over here from Lightroom, again, you would start the same way. You'd have a background layer, you'd duplicate the layer, then save this. It would go back over to Lightroom as a layered file. Or whether you're just working with Photoshop. It's a good, easy way to create an image that's got the ability to have sharpening in it for both print or web, because the sharpening should be different for the two of those. Okay, remember, less for web, more for print, and be able to keep all that sharpening inside here in a way that, number one, you could change it very simply, right? Because that's the key to this is could I have just duplicated the layer and did one unsharp mask layer, then duplicated again and did another? Yeah, but then I wouldn't ever be able to change it. This way, if I ever do want to change it, just double click on the words unsharp mask and I can move that slider to whatever I want because I used it as a smart filter. Okay, so if you're printing your photos or saving for a web, it's a little time-saving trick there for you to help keep track of the different versions. My name is Matt Kloskowski, and I'll talk to you again soon.